What is going on, everybody? So I'm at the shop right now, and I'm gonna take you guys to an aquarium that we had to break down because well, they used to be service customers of ours a while back, and then they went a different route, and in that time they ended up getting some fish disease in their aquarium. Long story short, all the fish in both their tanks died, and it was just a tragic loss. We got hired again to come in and restart the aquariums, and that's exactly what we did. So I'm gonna take you to those tanks, and I want your opinion on what you guys think of the escape that we did, and just ideas and suggestions for both of those aquariums. But first, I want to share with you our holding tank. So we have a couple fish in here. So a Midas blenny, some scissor tail gobies or whatever they are. Flame hawk, one of my favorite fish. I love that fish so much. Oh, look, another flame hawk. Smith blenny, and kind of, just a bunch of random fish. Whitetail bristletooth tang up there. So anyways, what I wanted to say was we're treating this tank right now, this holding tank, with hydrogen peroxide. We do about, I think this whole tank, this whole system, I don't even know, a couple hundred gallons or something like that. We're doing about 100 to 200 mils of hydrogen peroxide a day, and we have not seen any signs of disease. The fish have been healthy. We're keeping a close eye out. This is kind of our stage before we get to our quarantine system. But so far the hydrogen peroxide is working out lovely. And then over here in this tank is a separate aquarium, right? So this is not in the same filtration. And over here is where we're gonna be keeping things like Anthias and Chromis. Same deal, but no sand in here. But the same idea, these guys are taking the hydrogen peroxide, same exact amount, 100 to 200 mils a day. And anybody who's ever familiar with Anthias knows how tough they can be and how quickly things can turn bad for you. The hydrogen peroxide's worked really good for them, no sign of disease or eating great. Really happy with the way that they're developing. So this system is gonna be strictly for Anthias and Chromis. That's because Anthias and Chromis seem to be a little bit more, they seem to get urinema and other diseases a little bit more because they're more socialized fish than, say, like a flame hawk, which doesn't, swim in shoals or whatever. So this is going to be strictly for Anthias and Chromis, and that's it. And we'll treat them on their own in this system, and then when they here in this holding tank for a little bit, then we'll switch them over to their next step of the quarantine. But I just wanted to share that with you and give you guys an update on how this is going. The hydrogen peroxide treatment is working great. It is working awesome, and we take a lot of work goes into trying to get these fish clean, and we're always trying new experimental ways of dealing with fish disease. So I always will keep you guys updated on any progress that we make. But right now we're in our hydrogen peroxide phase, and it's working pretty well for us. That's not to say that we're not going to be doing other medications. But right now, the first 2 weeks that these fish have been with us, they've been doing really well. So now I'm gonna go to that customer's house and I'm gonna show you guys the aquarium. But after that, I have a couple other tanks I wanted to share with you, some updates and stuff like that on a cylinder tank, and then a update on a really unique acrylic system that I went to also. So stay tuned for those because those are really cool tanks, and I just want to give you an update on all those. So enjoy. All right, so here is the first aquarium. It's been a while since I've been here. But Tommy set this all up. We restarted the whole aquarium, broke everything down, and this is what we have right now. This tank will have an eel in it. It actually has an eel in it right now, a small little eel, and it's got a clownfish, which will get her a partner pretty soon. But this is what we're looking like. We're cycling right now. Well, actually the cycle's over. No ammonia in the tank. We're actually getting nitrate, a little bit of phosphate in the aquarium. So we're heading in the right direction. Have not turned the lights on. I just set the light for 2 hours a day, and so we should start seeing some algae growth, but the lights have been off now for a couple weeks. Hopefully that's given the rocks enough time to cure, hopefully there's some bacteria in those rocks colonizing, which will, I know we're gonna get some brown algae, but hopefully that bacteria will offset that. Hopefully the brown algae won't be so bad, but that's why we're only starting with the lights for 2 hours a day. But right now it's really clean looking, and looks really nice. The plan long term with this tank right here is going to be more of a fish only type of system. There will be some corals, but probably mostly softies and anemones, nothing too crazy. There won't be a full mixed reef. I think he wants more fish that wouldn't be reef safe. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure where we're gonna end up with this, but that's where we're at right now. But let me know what you guys think of the scape that Tommy did. I think it's very eel friendly. It's a really cool little aquarium. An older school style tank. It's just, the other thing is why we can't have different types of coral on this aquarium is it's got the old school current light, so you're not gonna be able to grow much with that, but softies. And even with the softies, you gotta put them up top because it just doesn't work out great. I know this from experience because we've tried it before in the past with this tank, and the light just doesn't really grow much. So this will be used more as the fish only system. So hopefully get some cool things in here. Some brightly colored fish, and maybe we can sneak some maybe some anemones if we put them up top, and some soft corals, hopefully. And if we have to, maybe we talk the customer into getting an additional lighting source. Now over here in the corner, a nice bow front corner tank. How cool is that? I love these corner tanks. You know, when you don't have an area to put a tank, put it here in the corner and it fits perfectly. And this one, I mean, couldn't fit much better. Like, it is snug in there. This is a really pretty aquarium. Same deal here. Same setup, same, in essence, like it started up the same time as the other aquarium. They were both broken down at the same time. Both had the same problems. I really like what Tommy did with this aquascape. You have a lower level here up front, and then it gets higher in the back. You got a little separation right there, so when you're watching from the couch over here, you have a nice little view of what's going on back here. This tank now will be used as the mixed reef tank. So I'm picturing a lot of anthias, brass, tons of coral, different types of coral. I'd like to stay away from anemones and get more things like Euphyllia in here, like hammers, torches, and things that have some movement, and some cool zoas, you know, LPS, and maybe even down the road some SPS. We'll see how it goes. It is run by one AI, let's see here, I think it's a 32. Yeah, an older light, so something we'll have to keep an eye on. It is an older light. It's still Wi-Fi controlled, it's not the Bluetooth one. Got two power heads right there, but basically it's just a very simple setup. Again, another old school style system. Protein skimmer there. The sump isn't crazy big. There's no AT on here. That's being filled up manually. So hopefully, I don't think we're gonna be able to do crazy types of difficult corals in here. But I do think we can get away with some nice mixed reef corals. You know, Euphyllias I still think can do well in here. Zoas, some mushrooms, and some things like that. Some basic, more basic corals I think would be really cool in here. Add some color, and then if you get some anthias in here, and some wrasse, and some cool fish like that, I think this tank will have tons of color and tons of life. Let me know what you would suggest for an aquarium like this. Keep in mind the filtration situation and the lighting situation. I'd love to hear from you guys what you would think and what you would do with this tank. Oh, and hey, I wanted to show you what I'm going to be putting into the corner tank. These two clownfish, this pair right here that we quarantined at Tank Ignitions. Lovely little white pair of clownfish. Does anybody know what kind of clowns these are? Are they platinums? I don't know all the names. Winter Storm? I have no idea. I really try not to pay attention to that. I think it's kind of weird to me. But anyways, they're predominantly white, which is kind of cool because in that corner tank, it's going to be running a lot of blue light. And these white clownfish look amazing under blue light. They really cut through. So I think these will be a perfect addition for a coral tank that runs heavy blue lights. So we are looking good in the similar tank. Got a lot more fish in here. And everybody's looking very, very happy. Anthias were really, I think the anthias were a very good choice for this aquarium just because of they're brightly colored and they're active swimmers. Ooh, Coral Beauty's swimming a little bit weird. What's up with that? That tank looks good. Bar gobies are coming out. Everybody thinks that they're gonna eat. There's 3 bar gobies here. They look good. And as far as the coral go, it's all really starting to come along. Got the toadstool, the green star polyps growing like crazy, and the anemone is in the back here. Our little anemone hiding in the back. Well, what else do you guys think we should add into this aquarium? Oh, look at this. The pallies are growing too in a high flow area. Wow, wasn't expecting that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think because definitely should get some more coral in here at some point because we need to fill this aquarium out with some cool stuff. Beautiful tank, and I don't know, maybe some more zoas and stuff. I do get concerned with the coral beauty, picking on some coral, so I'm mindful of that. But just looking at him swimming. But the pallies are good, so maybe like bigger pallies like that would be nice. Palligrandus. Ooh, some mushroom corals would be nice in here. Some discosoma mushrooms, Rhodactis, Recordias. Yeah, that'd be really nice. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any suggestions for this tank as far as coral go, because I want to start seeing if the customer wants to add some more stuff. All right, and here's our final aquarium for the day. This is a pretty cool aquarium. Again, another old school style acrylic tank. Cool shape. And let's just take a quick run through. This is the best this tank has ever, like, it's looked in years. It's looking great. So you see that leather core right there. I love the way the polyps are like extended out. We have to go in there because she does want this. The customer wants it cut back. It is kind of taking over the top there. And it's going to shade some of this Hollywood Stunner Chalice coral, which is just growing amazing in this aquarium. And the problem we have right now is these trumpet corals are getting stung by these discosoma mushrooms. You can see the mushrooms are kind of growing in between there, and they're stinging the trumpet coral. So I'm gonna go ahead today and get in there and frag that up, separate those mushrooms from the trumpet, and put those colonies somewhere where they'll be a little bit more out of reach from the mushrooms, because those things are just taking over the tank. You can kind of see we got some Kenya tree, and you can see those mushrooms down here. How they made their way up there, I have no idea, but they've just taken off the past couple of weeks. Just been going crazy. You can see the Lobophilia right there. That is looking amazing, huge. And Duncan Coral, recent addition, looking great. Some Zoas here, and this giant bubble coral. This thing is ridiculously big, and you can tell the tank is doing good when the coral looks like that. And then over here, there's some anemones. Now the anemones in this tank I thought were all dead, but they're coming back. And over here we have the other trumpet colony. You can see how healthy this one is compared to the other one. Giant toadstool coral that loves that flow right there. And then there's a cluster of anemones just hanging out there by the power head. Tons of coralline algae in this tank. And then somehow Hollywood Stunner found its way over here on the wall, and it is encrusting on the walls, kind of shelving out. I think it looks amazing. It looks really natural. Just everything in this tank is just really just taking off. And I'm really happy. There's little pieces of Hollywood Stunner everywhere. We were struggling with some green cyanobacteria in here. We were struggling with some diatoms. But in the past couple months, this tank has just really hit its stride. And it's an old aquarium. I mean, this thing's well over 10 years old. And it's finally finding its stride, and it's making me happy. There's only 2 or 3 fish in here, so there's not a heavy load in here. But we'll see what the future brings with this tank. I think it's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching and allowing me to share what I do with you guys.